Mixed numbers and conversions. A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. And so for us, in order to change a mixed number into a fraction, like an improper fraction, we will do the following steps. We will multiply the whole number in the denominator. Then our next step will be to add the answer to the numerator. We will keep the same denominator, and we're always going to reduce if possible. So let's look at an example. So example 1. So there is a 25 and 2/3 inch round stock. So if we were to convert this into an improper fraction, how would we do that? Well, when we look at this number, so we have 25, which is our whole number, and then 2/3. So our first step is to multiply this whole number and the fraction. So we would go 25 times 3, and so that would equal 75, which we can kind of just think of it if we were to add quarters, right? If we had 3 quarters, that'd be 75 cents. Or you can go ahead and multiply it out. So then step 2 is then to add this number to the numerator. So we got 75 plus 2. So that would be 77 now. So then we would then place 77 on the top, and then our new, so that's our new numerator, and then our denominator stays the same. And then step 4 would be to reduce if we could, but 77 does not have a factor of 3, so we can just leave it as is. So we can't reduce, so this would be our final step, and we'd say this is our improper fraction now. Now let's do another example. Example 2. So there is a 2 3/4 foot long piece of steel plate. So let's convert this to an improper fraction. So our whole number this time is the 2, and our denominator is 4. So our step 1 is to go 2 times 4, which is equal to 8. Step 2 then is to take this 8 and add it to the numerator. So now we have 11. So our new numerator is 11. We keep our denominator, so it's 4. And then we would reduce, but we can't on this one as it's already reduced. So this would be our final answer. Now let's go over how do we change a fraction back to a mixed number. So how we would do this, we would first divide the numerator by the denominator. Then the second step would be the remainder is the new numerator. And then we would always keep the same denominator. And like always, if we can always reduce if possible. So let's do an example. Example 3. So there is a 23/5 foot long piece of steel plate. Convert 23/5 to a mixed number. So our first step will be is to divide the numerator by the denominator. So we have step 1 So we would go 23 and we would go ahead and divide it by 5. So 5 can go into 23 how many times? Well, 5 can go into 20, which that would be 4 times. So 5 times 4 is 20. We go ahead and subtract, and we get 3. We go ahead, 23 minus 20. Now 5, now we have to go into a decimal. Or we could just keep this right here. This will be now our new numerator, as this is our remainder. So step 2 would be to keep the remainder, and we're going to keep the same denominator. So now this is our new whole number. So we have 4, we're going to keep the remainder as 3, and we have the same denominator, which is 5. So, see from here, this is our remainder, which is our new numerator, our whole number, which became here, and then we just kept the same denominator. So you can kind of see. So, this is step 3. So step 3 was keeping the denominator, which is right there. And we can see that we can reduce, as 3 over 5 is in its reduced form. So this would be our final solution. So let's do another example. Example 4. So now we have a 14 over 3 inch piece of round stock. Let's convert this to a mixed number. So our first step would be to go ahead and divide 14 by 3. So now 3 can go into 14 how many times? Well, 3 can go into 12 4 times, because 3 times 4 is 12. So we can go ahead and subtract 14 minus 12, which is equal to then 2. This is our new remainder, so our new numerator. This is our whole number, and we're going to keep our same denominator. So our whole number is 4, our same denominator is 3, and our remainder is 2. So this would be our final solution.